All right, I got a little Webbot update, very small, but I was emailing Cliff Hyde, the owner of the Webbot project, a couple of questions because I understood he mentioned something about a certain Bitcoin price, basically. He was waiting to see it happen, uh, and once it got to that level, that was as far as the data and the Webbot reports that he's been studying is concerned. Once that price target that I'm fixing to tell you about is met, that the prices of silver, and I'm assuming gold with it, but I was just focusing on silver in the email to him, but would start to go up. And then I replied to ask, do you think are we talking about like $5 a day moves and greater kind of a thing, or just generally speaking, the silver prices are going to be on the move again higher? And he said his response back was that the latter, that generally speaking, silver will start climbing once the certain price target was set. So I asked him, well, wasn't it around $320 for a Bitcoin or somewhere around there? And he says the actual, as I said last night, Bitcoin hit $320. Weren't you saying something about that? When that happens, the precious metals will start going up again. He says, yes, the issue, because I asked about silver in a separate email. Yes, the issue is how much control the bankers still have, but our target for the shift in the prices of silver was around $345 or thereabouts in Bitcoin. So that was last Thursday or Friday. Actually, I think it was Thursday when I sent this email out. I don't have the date on here. But I thought it was Friday, but then again, Friday, Bitcoin hit the record, so it wasn't Friday. I think it was Thursday. It's 300, and it was like maybe Wednesday or Thursday, but by the time I emailed them and all that, it was Thursday. So I said, oh, so we're looking at 345. So it was already 320, and I think it came down just a little bit over the night. And then Friday came, and Bitcoin was up to like almost either hit or was about $390 a Bitcoin. So that clearly is past the $345 or thereabout monetary value of Bitcoin that he said would be the language in the web that the Webbot's been, basically the Webbot report said to look out for as a precursor event. When you see the price of Bitcoin go to this level, that's going to signify later on the price of silver is going up. Unfortunately, it didn't say how soon after that, but it did say that. I do recall, I just don't remember if it was in the actual Webbot report or if it was one of his Wujos. He was actually talking about the price of that Bitcoin hitting 340 or 320 or whatever it was. Nonetheless, I do recall that. So that has happened as of Friday, and then it crashed. Bitcoin crashed down 25% over the weekend in like a day, from like 390 down to like 300. I mean, it was practically 25%. Today, Monday, it's back up to 358 last time I checked, so it has already climbed back up. Also, in his email to me, he said he would be expecting a decent rise in Bitcoin. This was again like Thursday before this happened on Friday and Saturday, and said that he is expecting, based on the data, Webbot data, a nice size climb in Bitcoin, and then a little slap down, not necessarily little, but a pretty decent slap down, and then it will be very short lived, and then it'll go back up again. Now, seeing a 25% drop in one day in anything is pretty significant. I mean, that's huge. Can you imagine if the Dow Jones stock market or the S&P went down 25% in a single day, in a 24-hour period? That would be like catastrophic. That would be news everywhere. Unbelievable. So think about, like, what was it, 3 years ago, the 1,000-point drop. Oh, someone fat fingered it. Someone fat fingered too many digits, zeros on the back end, and accidentally sold too many. Caused a Dow to drop 1,000. Yeah, okay. Even when it dropped 1,000, it wasn't 25%. It was more like 10%, 12% when that happened. So this is 25% in a day. Is this what he's talking about? The Webbot was talking about via him telling me that. So maybe, because it was absolutely short-lived. Sunday went by. Markets are mostly closed anyways, but Monday today kicks in. It's already up to 358, 359, 360. I've seen it bouncing around. So it's already wiped most of the loss off and is going back up. So is that also, I don't know. I'm just going to share it with you because that's what he told me, and I just saw it Friday and Saturday. So that's one thing. And then he talks about pieces of the Webbot report that's coming out, I guess, he has released. I don't remember 10.18 and 11.3, yeah. He's shared a few things in advance of this report coming out. It was supposed to have been released at the end of October, I think, and or mid-October was the target date, and he said there's a bunch of problems and things. They had to postpone it, the release of the Webbot report, so now expect it mid this month, November. But he's been posting little tidbits out of that report. And from 10/14, or October 14th, 2013, here's where this piece of data set comes from, or this piece out of a data set. Yes, in my thinking, the mid-Atlantic iron plume is further proof of planetary expansion. As Earth creates material in its core, it pushes older created material, now near the surface, breaks through as the crust expands, which creates gaps, sinkholes, and plumes of various types of iron, water, helium, other gases, other metals, still waiting for the CO, the Ni, and the CO plumes. So still waiting for those types of gases. Further, acceleration of the plumage, if you will, suggests ramping up of the planetary expansion process. My conclusion is that yet another earthquake sandwich is coming where new lands will rise between two large quakes. That's from 10/14/2013. Now this is a few days later, 10/18. Got hip waders, question mark? Rough winter coming to North America and North Atlantic Europe. We expect something like a 1,000-year colossal flooding. One of those 1,000-year floods. Linguistics predict that homemade rafts, as the only practical form of rescue, will make it to the videos. Or that's it. So people that have homemade rafts who survive and happen to have video cameras, it's the only videos you're really going to see of that kind of thing from the people, because they'll be alive and on their rafts able to do it. Here at Half Past Human, we expect to see women / children / animals and supplies, foods, goods in or on the rafts being pulled or pushed by shivering males through kilometers of salt-flavored waters during snowstorms. And he says, probably a good time to think about waterproof woolies or long underwear and hip waders. So then 11/3, November 3rd, is another one-liner. The winds we have been discussing blew into the Pacific Northwest for a visit. And he shows a video of scared humans abandoning their cars on the floating bridge. And I clicked on the link. There's a news story somewhere in our country, I forgot which state, where water was just, the winds, you could see the left side of the bridge being pounded on by the waters. I don't remember if I thought I heard 2 people died or something or another, but it's kind of what he was just saying here. But I like how he said it was just, the winds we've been discussing blew in just for a visit. This is a tiny bit of what's coming. So then we have this hurricane that just made landfall the other day after he wrote this. And there's, what are they saying, at least 10,000 people dead now over in the Philippines. So on 11/8, he writes, yet more winds, this hurricane, 400 kilometers per hour, and we are not done yet. The winds meme, out of the Webbot, the winds meme will continue through April and be joined by cold floods. So if it's going to continue through April, obviously that's April of 2014, and will be joined by cold floods. So there's the 1,000-year floods I'm assuming he's talking about will be coming. So I guess if there's any good news, it's not like immediate, it's going to be later. And if we do have that brutal winter with brutal amounts of snow, obviously that snow has to melt, which causes massive flooding, which would support this happening if we do see that type of winter. So that's a little update. It's a very small update. I'm already on standby to receive the Webbot report as soon as it comes out. So when it comes out, I'll do what I always do, and that's a summary of the most important things that I feel anyways that are in it. And I always leave stuff out on purpose because I cannot sit here and copyright the guy's work and read you the whole report for free. You know what I mean? The guy's entitled to make a small living off of this, considering the amount of servers and power and requirements he's got. Bandwidth requirements are probably incredible. where does that money come from? Because he's a nice guy and he's free, wants to just do stuff for free. Even if he wanted to do it for free, he still has to have money out of his own pocket to make that happen, to do it for free, which I'm sure he does not have. So that's why he charges a small fee. It literally is a small fee that I've always paid my entire life of following Webbot for years now, because there's always useful information in this thing. And as I always say when I read it and I start out my little terms and conditions, my little preliminary, is that I've been doing this for so long, reading this and studying this for so long, I've already long ago recognized that when they make a forecast and it's even like this summer or summer of next year or winter, it may not be the time frame he said. But by God, when it happens, it is spectacularly accurate to exactly what he's pretty much said in the Webbot report. And it unfolds like, oh my God, he nailed it. Oh, but he's 2 years late, but yeah, oops. So I find that part useful because at least it's in my memory now. I can expect it. I can see things coming in advance, knowing some of the things I know based off of reading these reports. So even if the year time frame kind of went by, it's never been really long after that they missed it that it started to happen. So I just want to share this little mini update with you and my personal email exchange with him about the Bitcoin and the silver stuff. And going to kind of sit here and wait. I'm going to tell you right now, I know Bitcoin went down 25%, and then now it's back up to 360, 358, whatever. I don't know how high it's going to go again, but just like last time, it got smashed last time. It was 250. It went down to like 78 bucks. They had to stop and halt trading. Within 2 days of me saying, watch for an epic Bitcoin collapse. Again, I did not expect it that fast, and I didn't expect it to be that brutal in that short of a time, but it did happen. So you know it's going to happen again, and they're creating a bubble in Bitcoin again. I'm reading now that some of the politicians actually like it because they can, the person who donated, there's no way to really know who donated, so they don't have to track the donations and where the money came from, or not really money, but the Bitcoins. And then I'm assuming the politician will take the Bitcoins that they own and of course convert them into cash through one of the exchanges or what have you. So that could be a driving force that causes Bitcoin to absolutely explode well beyond where it's at even now at $360. However, I still feel like they've got that 25% drop. I don't know if it's enough. I think we need to see a smashing again, maybe into the hundreds, 100, in other words, $100 plus or around their level. Better yet, under $200, let's call that. And then when that occurs, that's when you might want to load the boat, or load a mini boat, if you will, of Bitcoins if you want to risk that, because it's always a risk, like anything. And then possibly ride it quite high. The Webbot called this, the last report that I read, the full summary I did, talked about Bitcoin going up in the near future pretty decently. And then precious metals would follow as well. But I don't remember if it was in that report that actually gave the Bitcoin price. I can't remember, but yeah, in other words, the Bitcoin price, where he said when we hit that target, then we can expect the precious metals to start going up. Not that it matters, because that's already happened right now. As of this week, last Friday technically, that target has been hit. So at some point in time, again, don't know how soon, but soon enough. I mean, it's been a few months since I read that last summary. So it took that long to hit the target. And if that's the case, there's no telling that if it could take a few more months to have gold and silver start to really blossom up on the price again. But I just want to share this with you. When the report comes out, I'll be reading it, and it should be coming out in a matter of days. And I will read it to you. Take care.